our channel this morning, please subscribe and ring the bell. We'll be going live in about 4 minutes and 40 seconds. Thanks. Once again, please share this out. See you shortly. Our channel, please subscribe and ring the bell so that you get notifications when we go live or when we do videos. Also, for those of you that are live, please post in the feed where you're joining us from and what the weather is and you're connecting with. Looking forward to seeing you guys soon. We'll be live in about 3 minutes. Once again, please share this out to your friends and family, and we are looking forward to having a very exciting conversation today. All right, see you guys in a minute. To the channel, please make sure that you subscribe and ring the bell. Also, for those of you that are on, I want to welcome you and ask you please share this out. Also, please post in the feed where you're joining us from and what the weather is in your neck of the woods. Good morning, guys.
What's up, everybody?
Hey, it is a gloomy Saturday morning here in Virginia Beach. And as you see, our co host, Jackson, is cutting up this morning as usual. But we hope you guys have had a great week. Once again, please post in the feed where you're joining us from and what the weather is in your neck of the woods.
What's going on, everybody?
Hope you guys have had a great week. Glenn is in the background on Facebook inviting people in. So hold on, I'm trying to pull up the chat so I can see you guys' comments. Hold on one second. Trying to see it so I can see it. Well, I'll look at it on here because I can't figure out where to look at it. So hope you guys have had a great week. As Glenn said, as we promoted this week, we're continuing on our conversation about hold on. My whole thing is, I just lost my feed. Hold on. It's not the right one. Hold on. Talking about broken fences. Sorry, guys. So we're going to continue our conversation today about broken fences, and we are looking forward to having that conversation with you guys. So we have, good morning, People's Agent, Dominic. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, Lakita. Good morning, Teresa. Good morning, Tawana. Good morning, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today, once again, we're going to continue our conversation we've been having on fixing broken fences in relationships and basically talking about boundaries and how boundaries are, how they affect your relationships and why it's important to have boundaries, which Jackson does not have as of yet. But any of you guys who have been joining us for the last couple of weeks, if you have any questions, and I don't know, can you guys hear me okay? I just realized my mic's not on. Any of you guys that may have questions or comments from the past two sessions, post them in the feed so that we can address those today.
What's up, everybody?
Also, if you have any takeaways from what we've shared up till now in the last couple of weeks, please post that in the chat so that we can see your comments. We'd like to have an interactive conversation with you guys today.
Absolutely. Good morning, everybody. Sorry I'm late. Sheri's holding it down. I've been running around. Jackson has been on next level. You got to share the story. Did we do our bumper yet?
What
no.
Bumper.
The animation piece after we do it.
No.
That's called a bumper.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So at any rate,
you said you wanted to just go straight.
No, I said I wanted you to go straight, hit the bumper, and then I would come in as soon as that's done.
Okay.
So Sheri and I are having some challenges trying to communicate freely, but here's what I want to do.
I got a little discombobulated.
It's okay
because of this little.
No, it's okay. It's okay. So Lakita, what's going on? Stop biting me, boy. I'm gonna punch in your head. I'm gonna punch you right in your head. Slam and yep, y'all heard it live. I'm gonna punch him dead in his head if he don't stop nipping at me. No, I'm just playing. Somebody said, "Is he really gonna?" I'm just joking, Jax. I'm just joking. Jackson's a little wound up. Good morning. Good morning. What's up, Jeff? Great morning. Please explain to them the situation.
Okay, so I got up this morning, took Jackson for his walk this morning, and we were having a lovely walk. He was outside playing, and he does this thing at home. He'll roll around on the carpet like he's trying to get something off of him. So he'll do it in the grass sometimes, no problem. So he rolls around in the grass this morning, but he rolls in something.
Poop.
So when he gets up, I'm looking at the side. I look at the side of him. Now he's white, so his whole side is brown, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Wow.
And so I have to bring him back in the building. We stop. There's a restroom actually down on the first floor in the building. So we go to the restroom. I rinse him off, try to clean him up as much as possible, and then bring him on up. And then I have to bathe him.
Right.
Before I take my shower and get dressed this morning.
Meanwhile, I'm trying to get up and take my shower, get our coffee right, and get everything set up. I forgot to go live on Facebook, which I like to do prior to coming on here, just to let everybody know on Facebook that we're going live. And it was just a situation this morning, y'all. So we're excited. Oh no is right, Teresa. Yeah. It was a situation. So we made the adjustment, and we're here. We didn't have to cancel the show because Jackson decided to be Jackson. But we are a little discombobulated coming on. He's clean now, very clean.
Very clean now.
He would not be up here in folks' laps if that was not the case. So you did a great job, baby.
Yeah, good fertilizer, right, Dominic? I'll let him come fertilize you next time.
Yeah, right. That is not
You can go visit Uncle Dominic and you can roll around and give him some fertilizer.
Absolutely.
How about that?
Absolutely. How about that? So anyway, babe, let's get right into it. So, guys, I want to talk to you guys. How many of you guys are parents? Put that in the chat. If you're parents, grandparents, co-parents, I want you to put that in the chat. If that is you, and I thought it was going to be a bright, sunny day today.
No.
So I thought, let's do it out here.
But I think the light is fine.
Okay. Are we coming across in terms of our lighting? Are we doing okay, guys? Because I just want to make sure that we look and sound consistent and that we're good. But what we're going to talk about today is boundaries. We've been in a series for the last 2 weeks, and it is now time for us to really kind of talk about the good fertilizer. That is crazy, Dominic. Ain't nobody talking to you, brother. Ain't
talking
nobody
about poor Jackson. What about poor me?
Yeah, what happened?
I had to clean it up.
Right.
Everybody on Team Jackson.
Right. Jackson.
You got fans. You got fans.
Right. Stop licking and nipping. Or you going to get yourself in trouble, brother. Perfect. So listen, guys, if you're a parent, put it in chat. Me. If you're a parent, put it in the chat. We've been talking about boundaries for the last couple of weeks. And we want to pick up this conversation. Last week, you kind of talk about, what's up, Ira? Good to see you, brother. This is going to help you, man. This is going to help you. I am a firm believer that if you've struggled with your children being entitled, I want you to put me in the chat. Feeling or exhibiting entitlement type behavior. Put a me in the chat. Put a me in the chat. If your children have come up and you're trying to figure out, so why in the world do you feel like everybody owes you something?
You going there today?
Yeah, we're going all the way there today. We're going to talk about it today. We're going to talk about it today because this doesn't happen just with children in the home. Right. This happens with children once they leave the home, and then quite frankly they take that into adulthood, and it has to do with boundaries. It has to do with boundaries or the lack thereof. And I want to help you guys today because the truth of the matter is that if we don't get this right, they then get married.
Yes.
I'm going to put let me say it again.
Lord help their spouse.
Lord help their spouse, because if we don't get this together, if we don't help them in this area, in this regard, guys, the challenge is that they are going to get married and they're going to raise a family with an entitlement mindset. And I don't think that there's anything more dysfunctional looking than a grown-up who feels like somebody owes them something. We're going all the way there. Guys, we're going all the way there. If you have not, if you were on any of the last calls that we were on, I don't know what to put a 1 in the chat. If you're new to the call and this is your first time, put first time in the chat. To the show. First time to the show. Put it in the chat. We want to welcome you guys.
Say newbie.
We want to welcome you guys.
Put newbie in.
Yeah, put newbie.
Newbie.
Put newbie in the chat. What's up, C-Dog? Good to see you, brother.
Good morning,
man.
Brookses.
Yeah, to the Brookses, right. So I want to talk about that because, babe, I know for us, oftentimes, we have really struggled with this idea of how can they be entitled when, quite frankly, they don't know what it's like. The challenge becomes, look, nobody owes you anything. You don't own anything, but you're entitled to everything. Where does that come from? I think that's the question that people have in their mind in the struggle.
And I think that a lot of times what happens is that us as parents, because we may not have had everything growing up. There were things that we weren't able to have. And so we get into this pattern of when we have children, we want to give them everything.
Right.
And we don't teach them to earn things because we give them everything. And even now in this age of technology, it's like, there's this expectation that they're supposed to have. They're supposed to. I remember when Justin was in, I think, middle school, or it may even been high school, we had he had a cell phone. But he had a straight just cell phone. There was no texting, there was no data, no internet, anything on it. And he's like, well, all my friends have it. I was like, well, you're not responsible enough to have that. Because my thing was that I know what it exposes. It gives you too much access to too much too quick.
Right.
And because he was having challenges with being focused, the last thing we needed to do was give him anything else that was going to help keep him, to help to be more of a deterrent, to cause him not to be focused. But like today, I mean, you got 5-year-olds with cell phones. Right. With full coverage.
Right.
With the internet, everything on it.
Right.
And what it does is it teaches them that they don't have to earn anything. Even, we recently, I think I saw somewhere where like a child had like a kindergarten graduation, and it was like like a wedding.
Right.
I mean, they went all out. And I'm
Right.
like, if you do that when they graduate from kindergarten, what the heck are you going to do when they get to high school?
Right, absolutely. C-Dog, you stupid. He said Uncle Glenn and Aunt Cherie need to come get the Team O kids. Listen, you can bring all them jokers up here and we'll get them straight, as they would say in the A. Get them straight. No, guys, this is a real subject and this is a real talk. And I think that most parents, and I want to encourage you,
your, paper towel.
Our goal is not to come from a place of judgment at all. Right. Every one of us, including us, has and will struggle with these issues, and a lot of this is inherent. Right. A lot of this is because of like who you are as an individual. Some of it is culture. Some of it is exposure in terms of what you've been exposed to, your environment. A lot of it has to do with how you grew up. And so I want to kind of set the record straight so that everybody really understands that we all have a part in this. And so it's without judgment that I'm saying these things, because if I know what my part is, I can own it.
Right.
Put that in the chat. My job, my only job is to own my part. Put that in the chat. My job is to own my part. Put that in the chat. Cherie, one of the challenges that most parents, including us, have had or are having is owning what is theirs.
Right.
Because when we talk about owning what is yours, what you do is, and what we do, and I want to say we because we've been here. Listen, there's no judgment here. All right, we family, we get it, but there is a way out. What happens is, babe, is that if I say I own that, then I also own the responsibility of their outcome, or so I think.
Right.
So if I say that, somehow maybe I fell down on my job of teaching you this, then that means when you do that, I feel responsible for what you did because I didn't teach you what you should know.
Right.
And I want to let you know, guys, is that your children are responsible, or should be, for their own behavior.
Right.
And we're going to talk a little bit about that today. We unpacked some things last week. For those of you guys who are new to our community, new to Breakfast with the Brookses, my name's Glenn P. Brooks Jr. I'm an author. I'm a speaker. I'm a coach. This lovely light-skinned lady here is the lovely
Sheri Brooks Jr., author, speaker, and strategic.
Yes, all of those.
Yeah,
she should get paid by the letter. She's
and coach. I got a whole bunch of different.
She coaches. She specializes in certain coaching disciplines, if you will. So one of the things that people need to understand, particularly for those of you guys who are new and may catch this by replay, Sheri and I have been married now 21 years in a row. It'll be 22 in January, and we both have had children outside or prior to getting married. She was married twice before me. I was married once for 12 years. And we understand what it looks like to have to co-parent in less than ideal circumstances. Right. We understand what it looks like to have to raise children who, quite frankly, are being raised while we're trying to figure it out. Right? And so we understand this. Although our children are grown, we do have grandchildren now. Looking back, there were things that we learned, lessons learned, that our goal here on Breakfast with the Brookses is simply to pay that strategy forward, pay those tips forward. So I want to get into something, and then I'm going to let you jump in here, babe. There are natural consequences of our behavior. The problem comes in when someone interrupts a law. And I want you to put this in the chat, the law of sowing and reaping. In people's lives, in your children's lives, there are natural consequences to the things that they do. The problem, and we're talking about how they got to entitlement, is when that natural law of consequence has been interrupted. The law that's been really, or line that's been crossed, is the line of sowing and reaping. They actually think that they're not going to reap what they sow.
Right.
Does that make sense? Come on.
And that's because as parents, we jump in and we rescue them.
Come on now.
Or we take responsibility for what they did, and we don't let them feel the brunt of what they did because we don't want them to hurt.
Right.
We don't want them to feel like they failed. Failure is a part of life.
Right.
Failure is something that builds maturity in you. Failure is what is necessary for you to get to succeeding. And often as parents, we don't want our children to fail because we feel like, honestly, when they fail, we're a failure.
Yep.
And the reality is, no. If they fail a test, they failed the test. I didn't fail the test. They failed it. But we won't allow them to feel the pain that comes with failure or their mistakes because we don't want them to hurt. But what we're doing is we're handicapping our children because we're not teaching them or allowing them to learn to take responsibility for their behaviors, because we take on all of the pain or the feeling from it and make them feel good.
Right.
You know,
absolutely.
Even like with sports, you know, now they do these participation trophies instead
Right.
of there being a winner or a loser. No, in life there are winners and there are losers.
Right.
And they have to learn to lose.
Right.
And I think that that's a disservice that we've done to our children, is that we don't allow them to learn how to lose graciously.
Yep.
And then when you have kids that don't know how to lose, when they do lose, now they got
don't
an
lose
attitude.
well. We call them poor losers.
Right, you know,
right?
and all, but all that comes from because we don't allow them to feel the feelings that come with that, because we want to rescue them.
So one thing I want to address real quick, it's MYAS mom. I'm not sure how to pronounce that.
Maya's
70.
mom.
Maya's mom. Is that what that is?
Maya's mom 70.
I'm wondering.
I'm not sure who that is.
You know what Maya.
I don't know. If you could put your government name in,
Put
so
your,
we know
put
who
your
you
government
are,
name,
so we can address
ain't
you
no
properly.
face on your junk. Ain't no government name. Maya. Let me tell you
I think
why.
it's Maya's mom.
Let me tell you why. I think I know who that is, but I don't want to guess and be wrong. So listen. Maya's mom, you are 1,000% correct. You don't do the homework, you get the F.
But parents do the homework.
But Maya's mom, here's the challenge, Maya's mom, and I know you've experienced this, I've experienced this, and that is, but what are folk gonna say, right? Well, and when I say folks, what are my parents gonna say? I thought it was Marsha. Hey Marsha, good to see you, girl. That is hilarious. I just knew. I said, but then I said, let me not, because that ain't the normal one she come in on. I don't think. So anyway, so what happens is that when we get caught up with what other people think, as if what other people think matters in our house, right? We will parent out of that place, and so you won't let the child get ever. And we've experienced that. With our kids, particularly with our son, not our daughter, she was on a different thing, but with our son, and that is, you did the work. I watched you do it because I was there when you did it, but you put it in your bag, and because you're not organized, it was at the bottom of your bag. So when it came time to turn it in, your thought was, oh my God, I must have forgot it home. You don't turn it in, you get an F. You don't turn it in, you get a failing grade, you get a 0, right? Well, here's the crazy thing. The crazy thing is that now as parents, I'm frustrated because I'm thinking the teacher thinks that I'm not helping my kid, or I'm not,
Right.
I'm one of them parents, always coming up here when it's a problem. You ain't never up here when it's not a problem. And the challenge is that when we parent out of that vein, we do our children a disservice. Let them take that L.
Right.
Let them take that F. And now the teachable moment becomes not fussing at them because they forgot it. Let's talk about what does it take to help you become more organized.
Right, and I want to address Corn. You did make a great point. He said we don't know how to deal with grief well, so we don't allow or want our kids to deal with grief or failure. And that's very true. Oftentimes
All day long,
have a
see.
fear of failure ourselves.
Yep.
And because of our own fear of failure, we don't want to allow our children to fail. But we have to be honest and step back for a second. Where has my fear of failure gotten me?
Yeah.
How has it benefited me?
That's good.
I've had to push past it in certain areas. I've had to make myself push past it if I want to succeed at anything. And so if we can teach our kids how to do that at a young age, if we can teach them how to accept failure, to accept responsibility for their things. It's like, okay, I got a D on this grade. You know, I didn't get an A, but I got a D because I didn't do A, B, C, or D. Or maybe I need help in this class. Or maybe, you know, I need to do something different. Then they can make the adjustment so that then they can earn the A.
Absolutely.
Or the B. Or maybe a D is the best that they can get. If they know that they've put all their in, it's not a failure, even though it may not be the best grade. But if they know that they've done all that they can do, then they can accept where they are and it not be a negative connotation associated with it.
Absolutely. No, babe, I think, and I'm looking for something right now because I want to talk about a couple of things, and we're going to unpack this a little bit, get into some of this today where your children are concerned. Yes.
Oh, well, I was going to keep going, and if
Go.
you're looking for something. And so even like when it comes to schoolwork, as we're talking about that, oftentimes I know that parents will, the child has a project, and this was one that used to always burn me up. They have a project. Now, let me share something with you. Those of you that have children, your teacher does not tell your child on a Friday that they have a project due on Monday. Teachers never do that.
They don't do that.
They don't do that.
Most of them.
They're not sending your children. They done told them at the beginning of the quarter.
Right. There's a whole syllabus.
They've gone over it every week. Say, hey, don't forget, next week this is due. In 2 weeks this is due.
Right.
So when your child comes to you on Sunday evening, hey, Ma, I need to do whatever you call them board.
Yeah,
things.
not a vision board, but some kind of.
I got to turn in a presentation tomorrow.
Right.
I got to do this whole project. You sitting at home, you done cook Sunday dinner, y'all chilling. Don't jump up and go run to Walmart to go get them that stuff on Sunday night.
Right.
The first thing you need to ask them, when did you find out this project was due? When did you find out about this project?
Right. You hear that?
I remembered the teacher said something on when did you find out about the project? Well, she told us 2 weeks ago. Okay, let's stop right there. 2 weeks ago, you should have asked me to get you the supplies.
So as a result,
you need to find whatever supplies you can here that are in the house.
Absolutely. And this is going to be the most creative project that you've ever had.
Right.
And whatever you get, you can at least give yourself an A for effort at the last moment. I want you guys to understand.
And don't you sit up and do it for them that night.
Please, parents, listen to me carefully. I need you to say this with me. As a parent,
y'all can put it in the chat.
Put this in the chat.
We can't hear you.
Because we can't hear you. I mean, I can hear them in my mind. I almost picture people in their living room or in their bed because it's too early, with their little coffee, talking about, okay, I'm saying it. So I want you to put this in the chat. As a parent, I need to parent. With love. And limits. Put that in the chat.
Limits.
Parent with love. And limits. Okay, so now, when we say that, because it's both and, not either or, right? So the love is the empathy part. That is, I feel you. I understand. You're frustrated. You did the work. You didn't organize it. You turned it in. You got an F. Got it. The limits are, I am not going to own your failure. Let me tell you something about failure so that you guys are really clear. I honestly think that where I failed my children the most, places, we did a lot of great things, but one of the things I wish I could get back was teaching children the value of failure. And the reason why I couldn't do it, and Corwin said it earlier, is because at that time, I didn't understand the value of failure. Mm-hmm. There is an intrinsic value that comes with failing. There are success clues that failure leaves.
Yes.
Put that in the chat. There are success clues that failure leaves.
Right.
And the reason why is because, and this is what we call teachable moments. When you fail, there always are things that you can look back on and that will help you answer the question, why?
Right.
Why did I fail?
Right. What could I do differently?
What can I do differently? When it comes to, I don't pick a subject. I mean, you went bankrupt. Oh, okay. Been there twice. Mm-hmm. Get it. No judgment. But when we look back and say, how did we get here? How did we get to the place, and I'm talking about limits, how did we get to the place that now we're sitting here filing bankruptcy the second time?
Right.
There were lessons that we didn't learn.
The first time.
Correct. Which led to the second time.
Well, for you the first time. It was my first time.
Well,
it was your second.
Y'all see her throwing me under the bus? Y'all hear that? Y'all hear that, Sharisa? Let's keep it all the way 100, brother, because I'm not on that bandwagon. No, I had a bankruptcy prior to Cherie. And then after we got together, we both had one. So that's where I said 2. She talking about that's 2 for you. That's 2 in your column, bro. That would be 1 in mine. So I just want to let you know. So and y'all got to know something about Cherie to know why that even came out like that. Because this woman is a monster when it comes to managing finances. However, That's not my point.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Thank you. You got me digressing.
I digress.
No, yeah, you did. You digressed. Jackson, did you hear Jackson yawning?
Woken my people sleep.
Oh, my bad, Jax. I'm talking too loud. So she didn't digress. Listen, let me get back. You know, I had a little look, I took my sea moss this morning, y'all. So now it's kicking in. So I'm a little amped. So listen, baby, I'm talking about limits. And what I want people to understand is that we effectively learned the lesson when we were together, my second bankruptcy, your first, that we have never had to go back there again.
Correct, because we learned from, there was a lesson learned.
To be learned in that failure.
If you don't allow your children to fail, they'll never learn the lesson that they were supposed to get. I'm a firm believer, and anybody that knows me, I always say, no matter everything that I've gone through, every experience, every trauma, every failure, every pitfall that I've been through, I don't look at them as negative because I learned something from them.
Absolutely.
Every situation, no matter how bad it may have been, I don't look at it as a bad thing that happened to me because I learned something from it and I grew from it.
Absolutely.
But if we don't allow our children to do that, they won't grow. And that's why I say we stagnate them, we handicap them, we cause them to be stuck because we don't teach them how to learn from their experiences, and therefore they're not able to grow into healthy and functional adults that can think and process on their own because they're used to mommy or daddy saving them, and rescuing them, from everything and making everything okay.
And it's not okay, Nikkei. Nikkei said I was one of the ones who was there that did the projects. I understand, and it's because there's something going on with you. And it's no disrespect, no shame. I understand it. I'm going to say this last thing, and then I'm going to give you guys a couple of points that's going to really help you before we close. So today, I want you also, so we said love and limits, and the other one I want you guys to understand is that I need you guys to parent with warmth and consequences. Love and limits, warmth and consequences. Just because it's a consequence, you don't have to add more to it.
Right.
All my black parents, please lean into the camera. Everybody in the black community will get this. No disrespect to any other culture.
And we've done it wrong.
And maybe y'all have this situation too. But I can't speak about y'all culture because I didn't grow up in your culture. I grew up in mine.
Right.
But growing up in the black family, we have
tendency
to rub salt in your womb.
Right. So, can I get...
okay, yes, you can get it. So we're talking... It's like double Dutch. Can I? So listen, real quick. And I'm not throwing shade on anybody personally. Y'all know if you grew up in a black family, you know I'm right. Say he right. Put it in the chat because I just need to know that I ain't tripping. All right. So if you grew up in a black family, even if you white and you grew up in a black family,
you know what we talk.
You know what we talk about. You be like, yeah, why y'all do that? Right. You know what I'm saying? We have a tendency to rub salt in the wound, meaning while you down, we're gonna kick you again.
Yes.
We're gonna remind you that you down. You spilled the milk, and so now you got to be stupid. You spilled the coffee, and so now why did you do that to me? You understand what I'm saying? Yes, you got something. Come on.
Because we've been talking about school. So
come on.
Your child fails their grade. They got to repeat a grade. Why are they grounded for the summer?
The whole summer.
Why?
Why do we do that?
They got to repeat the grade.
Right.
That is the consequence for them not doing their schoolwork.
Hello?
That's the consequence.
Why do we have to add?
Why we got to physically discipline them.
Yes.
Give them a little pat.
Yep.
And then you ground it for the summer.
Right.
And then you got to repeat the whole grade.
And listen, if you driving, you got to get the car taken away. You can't drive. We're
taking the phone. We're taking everything. They failed the grade. They got to repeat the grade, or they got to go to summer school. If they got to go to summer school, okay, that now I will say with that, because if it's something that costs you, it should cost them.
Absolutely. So they need to pay for summer school.
So if they got to go to summer school, yes, they should have to pay for that.
Absolutely.
So you need to get a little side job. You need to do whatever
side
you
hustle,
get. If you're in high school and you got a job, you're going to give me money out of your check every week to pay for that.
All day.
But other than that, why do we add a consequence on top of the consequence when there's been one already handed out?
Baby, that is good.
Stop
and
it.
What happens, guys, and I know we're getting a little passionate about it, but let me tell you what it looks like on the other side. when you add upset to injury, what you do is you now take the opportunity for them to learn their lesson off the table.
Right.
Because you've made it about the pile on. Does that make sense? In other words, we've now forgotten about the issue.
Right. Now they focus on why I gotta be grounded for the whole summer.
So now I failed a grade because I did something that I wasn't supposed to do, or I didn't do something, obviously, that I was supposed to do.
We don't focus on that.
So rather than focus on that, we focus on how much can we pile on and make you feel, and somebody put it in the chat, we want to make them feel like
bad.
I feel, like I feel bad, or I feel shamed or whatever. So I'm gonna need you to feel like I'm feeling.
Right.
No, that's a mistake. And the reason why is because when we talked about this a little bit earlier, what that teaches them is that there's no reason to embrace failure.
Right.
Because failure always produces pain.
Right.
There's nothing good in failure. When I failed as a kid, I got reminded. Now, this didn't happen to me because my mother erred on the other side. But this could be the thought process of a kid that grew up through that. I'm not going to embrace failure because every time I did, I got crucified for it. I'm not going to embrace failure because every time I did, there was the pile on. So when you grow up and you get more mature and you now find yourself married, you can't embrace failing. So now you have to cover that up. Now you have to mask that. Now you have to compensate for the mistakes that you make. Y'all see where I'm going? Which now produces an immature adult who, quite frankly, listen, guys, looks childish. You get what I'm saying? I mean, we're seeing that all over the place these days, right? Because we've never learned how to fail.
Right. It's if I can interrupt real quick, it's funny us even talking about this. I just had like a flashback. Like I failed, I think it was the 10th grade. And I remember I went to summer school. I had to go to summer school. But I don't remember there being any other consequence. I think the consequence, you go into summer school.
Yeah.
You got to I had to catch the bus. I had to get myself to and from summer school. They weren't going to drive me. So I had to manage my own transportation getting there. So I had to catch public transportation to get to summer school. But that was it. There was nothing piled on top of that.
Right.
I remember.
And as a result, what it does is it takes all the extra off so that you can focus on the fact that you made a mistake, you screwed up, you got set back, and so now you got to do what needs to be done to get back. Guys, I'm gonna say this, and then we're gonna give you guys a couple things that's gonna help you before we roll. But this is we're not doing our children any favor when we pile on. When it comes to setting boundaries, when you're talking about children who have grown up and become these entitled adults and thinks that everybody owes them something, that is birthed out of something that they saw or were allowed to do. And I understand the idea that we want them not to be able to hurt, and we want them to be able to go have a better life than we did and all that sort of stuff. But it doesn't remove the fact that there is a power when they have to earn that, as opposed to when it's given to them. We all know that the thing that you break your back to get, you value that.
You value it more
than the thing that was given to you. If you give me a car, I think that's cool. I think that's nice. I am grateful.
Right,
but when I buy that car, I value it.
Right, I'm going to value it entirely differently. That's so
because I had to bust my behind to make that happen, and so it means something different. I'm going to give you guys sort of a progression of what we call the progression of no. Put that in the chat, the progression of no. For those of you guys with young children, preschoolers, elementary school age, this is going to help you. For those of you who have middle schoolers, this is going to help you. High schoolers, teenagers, even your college or grown kids, this can help you because it'll help you know where you need to start and how you need to understand. When we talk about the progression of no, baby, people need to understand that part of failure is being able to accept no.
Right. And a lot of children today don't know how to accept no.
Y'all, have you ever experienced where you tell a child no and they come completely unglued?
What do you mean? I can't have it. I just wanted to.
That's not fair.
Why can't I?
Oh, but he had one.
It's like, no. I said no.
One of the things that we had to teach, and I remember us going through this with our grandkids because, it's siblings, and they 3 years apart. And, depending on which 3 years you're talking about, that can be a real cat fight, right? 2 girls, 3 years apart, it can be a situation. And one of the things we had to teach them is that no doesn't mean never. No doesn't mean never. And I need y'all to hear this. We had to teach them. When you come over to Gran and Pop-Pop's house, and we say no, what we don't put up with is the idea that you got to come unglued because you got rejected. First of all, it's not personal.
Right.
Second of all, it's not permanent.
Right. Right.
Do y'all understand that?
No doesn't mean never. It just means not right now.
Say it again.
No does not mean never. It means not right now. It doesn't mean that the answer may never be yes.
Right.
Right now, the answer is no.
And I think that unfortunately, when we jump past that and we allow them to fall out and have those kinds of temper tantrums without educating them, what they do is they recognize that they feel like you've done something personal to them and they've taken it personal. So when children understand the progressions of no, and it's a ladder, it's a foundation. It starts here and it builds.
Right.
And when this thing builds properly with children, it changes the game. So first of all, I want you to understand that this is built into the fabric of, or should be built into the fabric of their life. The first no that children should understand and be able to embrace is the no of parents. If they never learn to embrace or accept no from you, this next step ain't happening.
Right.
So I need you to understand this thing starts with us.
Yes. Yes.
So when my child grows up and they are entitled, I have to go way back and ask myself the question, what did I model?
Right.
What did I do?
Right.
And did they get that on my watch?
Right.
And if they did, own it. Because when you own something, you can fix it.
Right.
Here's what I can promise you. You can't fix something you don't own. Can you see me out here fixing my neighbor's car without their permission? First of all, I don't fix cars.
Right.
But even if I did,
that would be a situation.
that would be a situation about, why are you under the hood of my car, bro?
Right.
I just heard your car, that little knock and run on thing you got. I think there's a loose valve here. He's under my foot on this side. Baby. Calm down. That's cool.
What is he doing?
And so what I want you guys to understand is that I have to take responsibility for that. So the first progression of no starts with the parents. Children need to be able to embrace the no of a parent. Number two, they need to be able to hear and embrace the no of their siblings. This is a problem.
Yes.
It's called sibling rivalry.
Lord Jesus.
When your sibling says no, it means no.
Right. And this is where we often see parents, they will minimize the no from one sibling to the other. So if I'm playing with something and my sibling comes and was like, "Ooh, let me have that." And I'm like, "No, I'm playing with it." And your response is, "No, let them, you have to share. Let them, no. I get to say no." If I'm not being mean to them, if I'm doing something.
That's good, babe.
When you always minimize my no by telling my sibling that when I say no to disregard that, or they know I'll just go tell mommy that you said no and then you're going to give me whatever I want. You've taught them that no doesn't mean anything when their sibling tells them no.
Yes. So I love it. I love it. And I'm going to try and rattle off these things before we get out of here, because next week we're going to move on. Hey, Angela, good to see you. By the way, for those of you guys who are brand new to the Breakfast with the Brookses this morning, please subscribe to the channel.
Right, and ring the bell.
We're trying to get to 100 people, 1,000 subscribers.
Before the end of the year.
Before the end of the year. And because when you get to 1,000 subscribers,
we can do some special stuff.
Opens up some opportunities for us to do some other special stuff that we really can't do until we have 1,000 subscribers. So if you're not if you're enjoying this content and you really appreciate it, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel right now, and we'll go from there. So number one, we said the no of parents. Number two, we said the no of siblings. And then number three, the no of school teachers. If you don't master the no of parent, of embracing the no from your parent,
or the no from
the no from your siblings,
the teachers ain't got nothing coming.
Teachers ain't got nothing coming. This is where now when the teacher says no, she don't like me.
Right.
No, the teacher gets to say no. The teacher gets to draw a boundary. The teacher gets to draw a property line and say, listen, this is your responsibility. It's not mine. So if you didn't take care of your responsibility of, and I know I'm dating myself, sharpening your pencil before you sat down, and the rule is once you sit down, you can't get up, and then I catch you up out your seat and it's, I was going to sharpen my pencil, you have pushed past the no of the teacher, and I promise you it's because of a faulty foundation of not being able to accept the no from your parents or your siblings,
Yep.
people who are closest to you.
Yep.
So therefore, the teacher, God bless their heart,
Ain't
has
got
nothing
nothing
coming. Do y'all see that natural progression? And so this is where I want you guys as parents to understand where you get to have control.
Right. This is a building process that has to take place with your children in order for them to be able to learn to respect authority.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
life.
And that's where we're going. The next one is the no of school friends. If you can't accept the no of a school teacher, then when you ask the kid next to you, can I borrow your pencil? And they say no, now you're not my friend.
Right.
Or
right.
now, oh, see, now you hating.
Right.
Oh, see, now you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's a natural progression of things. For those of you who are just hopping on by replay, we said the no of parents is something, these are natural progressions that have to take place in a child's life in order for them to be able to own boundaries and own their crap, right? They have to be able to embrace the word no, because if they can't, it will not allow them the freedom to be able to flow. Number one, the no of parents. Number two, the no of siblings. Number three, the no of school teachers. Number four, the no of school friends. And then number five, and we're going to have to stop here today, but the no of bosses and supervisors.
So if they never learned as a child,
Come on, Sheri.
to accept the no from their parents,
Yep.
the no from their siblings,
Yep.
the no from their school teachers, the no from their friends, when they become an adult or they become a teenager and they're working a job, they now can't accept the no from their supervisor or from their coworkers. So
And-
now you have a child or a young adult who keeps losing jobs.
Yep,
Or
can't
who
keep a
quits-
job.
Or who quits jobs because they don't like me. I
They
asked
playing
them, could I had a
favorites.
day off, whatever, and
He
they
was
told
like,
me
nah.
no.
But he
And
said
so I'm
yes
just
to the
like-
other one. Just it's always something, right?
So the world is not fair to them. It's always
Absolutely.
everybody's out to get them.
Absolutely.
It's not. It's just no.
Yeah.
Now it's personal. It's like they're attacking me because they told me no. It's like no. How
Yep.
about they needed somebody to work that day and you were on the schedule, and they told you couldn't have a day off.
Point
How
blank.
about that?
Point blank.
Or
So-
you ask, can I go to lunch now? And no, we need you here now. You'll go to lunch at 12.
Instead
but they
of
told me
11:30.
no. But I asked, or I said I was going to come in late. And they was like, no, we need you here on time.
So here's what I want you guys to do. I know that we talked about the problem, the solutions to these things we deal with in our MAPS Relationship Academy. If you are not a part of that community, we certainly want to invite you to do that. Click the link or go to GlennPBrooksJr.com, GlennPBrooksJr.com, and sign up for a free, sign up for a free discovery session. And I want you guys to book a discovery session. Let's jump on a quick Zoom call. I just want to figure out how we can help you if we are a fit. If that's the case, we certainly want to bring you into either our couples, our parents, maybe even the singles community. We have a community just for men, just for women. And the goal is to help people grow their relationships with great intentionality. We're talking about this very subject in that community over the month of October, but we're going really deep with it. We're able to talk to you specifically and talk about your specific situation and how do we create a game plan. As coaches, our job is to put together a game plan that you execute that can help you get to the win that you're trying to get to.
Right. And once again, for those of you joining us today on Breakfast with the Brooks, we want to thank you for joining us. If you are new to our channel, please subscribe and make sure you ring the bell so that you can get notifications when we go live and as well as when we post videos to the channel. And as always,
you can't get to any place of significance by yourself. Why?
Because we all need some help.
Some help. Y'all be good.
Y'all have a great Saturday,
We'll talk
and
to
we
you.
will talk to you soon.